Okay, and we're back.
What's up, SMT Nation? We back. Nice job, kiddo. Nice job. You gonna do all my intros from now on? All right, sweet. Anyways, wanted to cover this story here. It's a good piece of news out of T-Mobile, and it's an award. It is a very good award. What can you do better as a CEO? Mike Sievert of T-Mobile is the CNN Business CEO of the Year. All right, now, the reason I wanted to cover this story is I want to kind of do this from a couple of angles. How do we evaluate Mike Sievert as CEO of the Year? I want to backtrack to when he took over as the CEO from the previous T-Mobile CEO, John Legere. Mike Sievert, when he took over as the CEO, I really was not a fan. That first year just did not seem like things were going very well for him on a personal level with respect to the company. Now that I kind of look back on that first year, that's a very difficult thing to do. You know, you think about it, you're taking over for John Legere, who was known as a legend in the wireless industry, came in with nothing to lose, basically played by his own rules and disrupted the market, right? He did things in a very brash, unconventional, unorthodox way. Mike Sievert's more of a clean-cut guy. He's more of a, he's typical CEO sounding, very different from John. All right, now everybody's got their own style, and I think Mike's true to himself, but I think where things got good for him was the year after the T-Mobile and Sprint merger was completed. Now, the company is a very different company with a very different set of circumstances. Before, they were playing with house money. They almost went bankrupt. They were looking for a merger, right? Like, as the B side, they were trying to get out. And then with John, and then things kind of changed. They got a couple things to go their way with some other mergers and failed mergers with AT&T and Metro PCS and blah, blah, blah. But things worked out and got better. And then with the larger company with more assets, it was probably mandatory that when Mike Sievert was offered the position and he took it, the company, had to become more corporate and had to become more focused on, margins and just a traditional corporate operations basis, right? So John probably was not the move for them beyond his tenure. So Mike came in after a rough first year, in my opinion. He came in and things got stabilized, and he's been cooking ever since. I have to say that from a lot of different respects, he's pretty much hit all the marks over the last couple of years. So he weathered the storm, got through the merger, and then now we're starting to see synergies paying dividends. Obviously, the T-Vision thing was a flop, but he quickly busted a U-turn, got over that, got by it, and then focused on the T-Mobile Home Internet, which has been an absolute smash, huge success, huge growth vector, right? They disrupted the cable industry, replaced the T-Vision with a YouTube TV subscription, so keeping people on an entertainment bundle of sorts. Brought in the Magenta MAX plan. People have been loving it, right? Margins have improved a little bit. There's a little bit more free cash flow. Again, the synergies with the Sprint merger are really starting to pay off. If you look at the shareholders and where they stand with respect to Mike Sievert and T-Mobile, there's definitely winning there, right? AT&T, generally speaking, has been down, right? Verizon has clearly been down, and T-Mobile has weathered the storm through all of the inflationary pressure, price locking. Like I said, from a consumer perspective, from a growth perspective, even from a network perspective, right? With all the spectrum auctions and with all the built out of the 5G UC and getting ahead of the competition, he's pretty much hit every single mark that they've set out. So it's really hard to argue that anybody would be more deserving. But it's even when you look at amongst his peers, I'd say John Stankin is of AT&T is doing a pretty good job. I would say Hans Vestberg, that's a little bit more unclear, right? You never know what a CEO's, how their performance is going to be until they're gone, right? Now we can look back and look at the John Legere era. Now we can look back and look at the Lowell McAdam era and all these previous older CEOs. But I think with Mike, kind of like the way things are projecting pretty nicely. I think this trend will continue. I don't think he's going to disrupt the momentum. If anything, he wants to keep the momentum train moving. And I think he's done a really nice job of stabilizing the bigger company, capitalizing on every opportunity that the other competitors have allowed him to do. AT&T did him huge favors, right? Being distracted by media, and then they had to spin that off and all of those things. Verizon has done him a huge favor, right? Raising prices and all these things that T-Mobile doesn't do. And T-Mobile's hit their mark. I think this is well-deserved, and I think that in the future, we can expect to see more of Mike Sievert doing well. I mean, I haven't called him Eugene or Sweaty Armpits in a long time. You can't argue with the results, right? You got to call a spade a spade. This guy is hitting on all cylinders for the most part of the last couple of years, basically flawless. He's hit on mostly everything. The one thing I will say though is it's not all perfect, but he has hit his mark on most things. The one thing that's bothered me the most has been like the retail situation with dealers and how they handled those people. Everybody's got a seat at the table, and we obviously know about all the thousands and thousands of layoffs, right? But that's what CEOs do, and that's what corporate America is, right? Just lie through your teeth and get things to, try to tuck them away and move past them. But they're no different at T-Mobile, I suppose. But pretty much everything else has been a hit. So he's done a nice job. The company's moving in the right direction, and I expect this to continue. Why would they stop? Why would they disrupt that? The T-Mobile train continues. Assemble Thong Nation. There you go. Nice job, Mike Sievert, CEO, business CEO of the year at CNN. What do you guys think about this? I'll go ahead and link the story. You guys can check it out on your own. But tell me what you guys think about my commentary and this award. Sound off in the comment section below. You all the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Like, share, and subscribe for more. Turn on the bell notification icon to never miss an upload. Links in the description for all things going on with the channel. Big shout out to my YouTube members, as well as my Patreon supporters. Thank you for all your continued support on these platforms and making content on this channel possible. And we out this piece.